Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete, proving nature's law is wrong? It learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete when no one else ever cared.
Portugal is a country that has wrestled its way through hardship. Only about 50 years ago, the dictatorship over the country was broken. Portugal is not a wealthy country, and its people have historically had to work long hours. Yet in spite of these issues, the Portuguese people have persisted with creativity. Spots of creative brilliance have bubbled up all over the country, in literature, music, sculpture, media arts, textiles, and food. These places may not be obvious on first glance, but that doesn't matter to the people creating this art. They just keep on planting the seeds in the concrete, and those flowers keep growing.
Portugal is a small country, but you might be surprised at how many creative places there are here.
I knew there would be places that had traditional arts, but I've been really surprised by how many places make cutting-edge art that mixes technology with traditional art forms to make something new.
So in this video, we wanted to show you 10 cities that have been recognized for creativity in Portugal. And the first city on our list is Obidos.
Yeah, when you think of Obidos, if you know anything about it, you might think of it as this big walled castle that people still live inside today.
The thing that we discovered about Obidos was it's a UNESCO Creative City of Literature since 2015, which we never knew. They have the Folio, which is the International Literary Festival once a year, which lasts for 11 days. They also have a poetry festival.
Yeah, and they have 11 new bookstores within the walls, and each one has a unique location. There's one in a wine cellar, there's one in a church, there's one in a fire station, and among all of the bookstores, there are more than 500,000 books. And besides this, they have a literary hotel called the Literary Man Hotel, and it's the only literary hotel in Portugal, and it's one of the only ones in the world. So inside the walls of the castle, there are also many spaces that are set up for performances, concerts, art exhibits, and conferences. And they also have residencies that are available for artists and authors and writers to come and stay and develop their projects and to present them. So I think that's really cool too.
There's a lot going on in Obidos. There's the Latitudes and Travelers Festival,
which is a literary festival.
There's the Sipu Obidos International Piano Week, which is very cool.
Awesome.
They also have things like the International Chocolate Festival, Medieval Festival, and during the holidays there's a Christmas Village. And if you find yourself there, make sure you stop by the Prohibition Bar and hear some music.
Obidos is definitely a town worth visiting. So the next city on our list, and it's one of our favorites, is Amarante. And Amarante was named in 2017 as a creative city of music by UNESCO. And it's a medium-sized city. It's got about 54,000 people, but it's a really young population. About a quarter of them are 25 and under. And so the city, in general, just really tries to promote the creativity and music for young people. And so every year it's estimated that about 1,200 people of all ages participate in some kind of amateur music band or performance.
And they have improvised street performances there, which is really cool.
And they also have formal and informal organizations of music where an association or a church will host philharmonic orchestras or traditional folk bands or percussion bands, which are called bombos.
And they also host this big festival called the Mimo Festival once a year, which has artists like Herbie Hancock or the Buena Vista Social Club. They do world music, jazz, Portuguese, Brazilian. It's a very cool festival to see.
Yeah, and for such a small town, it's amazing they bring in such great talent. And we just think it's a beautiful city to visit. We love it, the river running through it, and this bridge where Napoleon fought against Portugal. It's just really steeped in history and culture and art, and it's just beautiful to see.
Also, another UNESCO Creative City of Music since 2015 is this town called Idanha-a-Nova.
Yeah, Idanha-a-Nova is in the Castelo Branco region, and it's a really old settlement. There's evidence of prehistoric people living there. The Romans had a city there, and you can still see Roman roads there, and there's also a castle.
They say the city promotes social cohesion through music, preserving and promoting their traditional music, with an instrument called the adouf, which is a square tambourine drum that was mostly played by women.
Yeah, that tambourine is even a symbol on the flag of the city. And the city actually promotes all kinds of music, not just traditional music. They promote classical music, they promote electronic music, and every summer they have a festival called the Boom Festival. And 40,000 people come from all over the world to hear 800 artists perform in all different genres. And it basically turns the whole city into a concert venue.
They also have a research and training center for music, and they also have a 130-year-old brass band. Those people must be old.
True.
Historic streets and vibrant cultural spaces. This is also a UNESCO Creative City of Music. This is Leiria.
Leiria has been a music city for centuries now. In fact, it could stem back to the 1300s when King Dinis of Portugal used to use the castle as his songwriting place. He would go in and write these cantigas de amigos, which are called friend songs, and they became an important part of Portuguese literary poetry.
Music is a way of life here, with the clubs promoting and presenting original music.
Yeah, and there's an independent record label called Omnichord Records that has put out some of the most well-known independent artists in Portugal, such as Surma and First Breath After Coma.
And Surma is kind of an international artist. She played at South by Southwest when we lived in Austin. She's played all over the world, and she's a really cool artist.
Yeah, she's known as the Bjork of Portugal. There are music festivals taking place all year round in Leiria. There's a goth music festival. There's a festival where people play alternative music, contemporary music, and jazz.
And don't miss the Festival of Porta, which has workshops and performances.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, there's a special festival that celebrates being a UNESCO Creative City of Music. And during that festival, they bring on stage these local artisan bands, and they put them on stage with more famous artisan bands so that these local artists can have their profiles elevated.
Get exposure. Leiria is really special to us.
We think it's a great place to check out. Next is a city that we recently discovered and fell in love with, Barcelos. It was named a UNESCO City of Crafts and Folk Art in 2017.
There's this really cool quote that I found that I wanted to read. Barcelos, crafts and folk arts are the core of these people, and creativity is its legacy, reflected in all their art. And this is also where the famous cockerel of Barcelos came from, the rooster that you will see all over.
Yeah, it's kind of a symbol of Portugal now.
Yeah, there's a lot of pottery and embroidery in this town.
And ceramics and ironwork, woodwork, basketry, wickerwork. All these different traditional folk arts are passed down from one generation to another.
Yeah, and there's a pottery museum.
Yeah, and there's a medieval tower, and both the pottery museum and the medieval tower have been converted into cultural spaces for special events.
They also have a school of technology and a school of design.
Yeah, and they have a 2-week-long craftsmanship and ceramics exhibition every year, and they use that to promote the traditional arts and crafts.
And it's a county that has about 120,000 people.
Which is a lot of people, and of all of those people, a full 8% are employed as artisans.
Yeah, we enjoyed our visit there. The quaint downtown is very walkable. It's a walkable downtown, and there's an old castle there that's been destroyed.
Yeah, it was hit by an earthquake in 1755, and now it's an open-air museum.
It's a very cool town, worth a visit.
Definitely.
Next city on our list is Caldas da Rainha. In 2019, it became another UNESCO City of Creativity for crafts and folk art.
And among all the cities in Europe, Caldas da Rainha is one of the most prolific in ceramics.
Yeah, they have 500 years of ceramic tradition.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out the Bordalho Pinheiro factory, which has unique pottery.
And there's a lot of ceramics around the city that you can buy that are dishes, and they'll have dishes with symbols like cabbage leaves, lettuce, fruit, sausages, and fish on them. And you can actually visit the potters and you can watch them working. And then you can buy some of their crafts that they've made at the end.
Caldas is a popular city on the Silver Coast. A lot of people are moving there.
Yeah.
It's a great city. You have Foz de Arello on the beach side, which is a really cool beach town. You're close to Obidos. You're right in the heart of the Silver Coast, and it's a beautiful park in the city.
Yeah. You're not too far from Lisbon.
It's a great place to visit, or it's a great place to live.
Our next city is Covilha, which was named a UNESCO City of Design in 2021, and there are only 2 other cities in the world that have this designation.
A former textile hub, which had a strong emphasis on wool, used in various artistic and cultural projects such as the Wool Festival and the Urban Art Center. And it's famous for having lots of street art.
Yeah, and even its street art is inspired by wool, and it's very colorful and vivid. The wool industry in the town kind of went downhill in the 1980s because the industry kind of died out. But these factories have been reopened again and redesigned to make sustainable, innovative new items. In the 21st century, 2 architects came into Covilha, and they began to build and design pedestrian bridges that were really artistic. And one of these is the Bridge over Carpinteira, which is one of the highest pedestrian bridges in Portugal. It's a 17-story building height, and you can walk along this bridge or cycle along it and look down at the old wool factories. It's really cool. Covilha's innovative and creative architecture and street art and design have made it such an interesting city that Travel and Leisure magazine named it a world's coolest design destination.
It's a city that we really want to visit. Can't wait to go up to the mountains, see the snow.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to it.
The next city on our list is Braga. One of the oldest cities in Portugal. They embraced the digital age as a UNESCO Creative City of Media Arts since 2017.
Braga is one of those cities in Portugal that does not just stay with the traditional art form, but instead they race towards the future. They mix technology with music in order to make something new. They also do this with visual arts and with immersive arts, and a lot of young people are involved with this and just in these studios creating something completely new. It's really exciting.
They have a network of cultural creative spaces and events, such as Generation, the House of Knowledge, the International Iberian Nanotechnology Laboratory, and the Braga Media Arts Festival.
Yeah, some of the other art forms that people in Braga make are video dance, contemporary art, and photography.
There's an international blues festival every year.
Yeah, there's a lot of festivals in Braga. It's the 3rd largest city in Portugal, and there's always something musical happening there. And there's so much history in Braga. It's a great place to check out.
Definitely worth checking out.
This next city is pretty special because it's all about the food.
The next city is Santa Maria da Feira, where you can savor the flavors of Portugal. This is the UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy. There's major gastronomic festivals hosted by the city that connect the local gastronomic heritage with creativity, with urban regeneration, and community participation.
One of the coolest festivals that they have there is called the Imaginarius Festival. And they have people performing on the streets in all kinds of different genres of art. And they attract all kinds of innovative street art as well. And if you just want to go and check out some of the amazing restaurants in town, that's always a great idea too. This is another city where they're looking to connect technology with their art form, which is cooking. And so they're calling on people in these fields of expertise in technology and media to try to create new ideas in gastronomy. So it's another looking forward city in Portugal.
Looking forward to checking it out. The last city on our list is Castelo Branco.
beautiful city that was named by UNESCO in 2023 as a creative city of crafts and popular arts. The city is really well known for its handmade silk and embroidery in all kinds of beautiful patterns. The Castelo Branco embroidery features colorful, distinct designs. These designs have their own symbols, such as the tree of life, birds, carnations, roses. Besides colorful and creative embroideries, Castelo Branco is a center for contemporary art. There's an art museum dedicated to the famous artist Manuel Carvalho. He's a creative genius of painting and ceramics, and his works can be seen in both Portugal and France. Besides this, there's a Center for Contemporary Culture, and this museum shows exhibitions from Portugal's contemporary artists.
There's a lot of museums and cultural centers and theaters. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. And another cool feature of this city is that it dates back to the Knights Templar. So there is a Knights Templar castle that you can also visit if you go.
We're looking forward to visiting Castelo Branco.
Yeah.
So these were the cities that were recognized for their creativity.
Yeah. And as a bonus, we wanted to throw in a few cities of our own that we just think are beautiful and they inspire us.
So let's start by the ocean. The first one, up north, Viana do Castelo.
We love Viana do Castelo. It has this, it's right on the ocean with a river coming through it. And if you go to the top of this hill above this old church, there's a hotel up there. And the view from there is considered to be one of the top 20 views in Portugal. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. A half hour east from there is another town that we really like called Ponta de Lima.
Yeah, Ponta de Lima is such an interesting city because it has this Roman bridge that was built by an emperor of Rome. The foundation of it was, and it still stands today, this bridge, and you can walk across it. And the town is very walkable. It's got a lot of cafes and bars and restaurants. It's just a cool place.
Yeah, very cool. Down on the Silver Coast is a town called São Martinho de Porto with its horseshoe bay.
It's really beautiful there as well, and it kind of has the feeling of an old European sea village. It just has beautiful pastel colors, and it's just got its own vibe. It's really cool.
And then if you go up the hill to a town called Alcobaça, which is very awesome. They have this really big monastery up there.
We mentioned this place in our Silver Coast video if you want to go back and watch that one, because it's just kind of astounding, the art and music that comes out of this place at times.
And the last one we'll mention is a town called Guimarães.
Guimarães is the seat of Portugal. It's kind of the foundation of Portugal because the first king of Portugal was baptized in Guimarães.
And there's a lot of music and arts up there.
The city council just promotes and supports music and the arts.
So those are some of the places as a bonus.
So we love discovering new places in Portugal. Every place we've been to has been unique and has had its own vibe, and we're looking forward to experiencing new ones. If you have any places you'd like to suggest to us, please let us know in the comments.
Portugal's such a small country, and there's so much yet for us to discover. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next video.